Bubba Wallace, the controversial driver who never fails to stir up strong emotions, has found himself on the hot seat once more. Wallace, from his dramatic start on the stock car circuit to his latest on-air bird flip, has become a lightning rod for fan anger. But it's his claim of a double standard that's most intriguing. In an exclusive interview with SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Wallace just spilled the beans on the wild antics of other drivers. Join us on NASCAR Zone as we discover what's up in NASCAR and team owners. But before we dive into that, do subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. 23XI Racing has been one of the most popular Cup Series teams since it started in 2020. Michael Jordan's team has helped bring fans closer to drivers like Kurt Busch, Tyler Reddick, and John Hunter Nemechek. But their number 23 driver Bubba Wallace may still have a hard time with the NASCAR faithful. And now, Wallace's good results have been overshadowed by his recent mess with the experienced Stewart-Haas Racing driver Aric Almirola at Charlotte Motor Speedway, even though he has gotten back to form after a number of failures earlier in the season. Before his race on the Sonoma Road Course, the man from Alabama was honest with SiriusXM Radio about the obvious bias against him. The number 23 driver's immature act of flipping the bird at Almirola has sparked a firestorm of criticism, and even his team co-owner, Denny Hamlin, said it was childish and out of style. Even though Bubba Wallace got back to his old self with 2 great races at Darlington and the Coca-Cola 600, he hurt himself on the track by acting like a child. During a dramatic Cup Series race in Charlotte, Wallace gave his teammate driver, Aric Almirola, the middle finger, prompting the SHR driver to confront Wallace on the pit lane with harsh remarks. While people in the community complained online, the number 10 driver pushed Wallace hard when he confronted him. Wallace's boss did not like that this job was not very important. Hamlin spoke out about what happened.
It's out of style. Everyone needs, whoever still does it needs to stop because it's out of style. Stop doing it. It's childish.
Wallace, on the other hand, has said what he really thinks and promised to stop the childish behavior, while pointing out what seems to be biased against him. On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, he made it clear how upset he was.
Yeah, for me, I'd love this to. People think that I love to stay in the headlines for different reasons, and I actually hate it. It's funny how it all works out. How the fingers become such a big thing when Bubba Wallace does it. But you have guys that get wrecked and get dumped on the track, and they walk out on the track and shoot one bird or shoot the double bird, and we laugh about it and move on, and we tell them that they're number 1. But when Bubba Wallace does it, we got to shut the whole state down, shut the whole series down, kick him out, suspend him. So on that side of things, it's complete BS. But it is what it is. It's been going on for years, and it sounds like I just invented something new. And we know how some of these people that are part of the sport hate when Bubba Wallace brings in something new. So,
do you have to be more careful now about doing it? Are you going to have to stop what other people are doing, or how?
100%. I need to stop doing it. It's not a good look, right? Mm-hmm. And we all get that. But what I'm getting at is it's been going on for years.
Mm-hmm. Wallace listens to his boss's advice because he feels bad about what he did and wants to stop. There were a lot of exciting things that happened during the tough Coca-Cola 600. A not-so-fine thing happened between Bubba and Almirola on the track, which led to the pushing on pit road when his boss, Denny Hamlin, saw this and heard how the crowd reacted. He told his co-host, Jared Allen, that what his driver did was out of style.
As his car owner, I don't love it at all. I mean, just keep your hands in your car. That's what kind of got him and Bowman into it last week. It was the hand gesture. Like, just stop it. Just stop it. Like, just cause them. You've got some positive momentum on the racetrack. Let's just chill for a little while and just take the dubs when you get them. And that's running well. I don't know how many top 5s. Probably he's probably finished in top 5, 4 or 5 of the last 6 or 7. He's just doing fantastic on the racetrack. I hate that we're talking about this for sure.
Denny Hamlin also emphasized another driver. Hamlin recently talked about a Michael Jordan-signed driver who has set a new standard in NASCAR since switching to Toyota. Tyler Reddick had been driving a Chevrolet just a year before. But when word got out that he was moving to a team owned by Jordan and Hamlin, his deal ended a year before it was supposed to. Kurt Busch's decision to stop racing full-time for 23XI Racing was a lucky break. It made it possible for Reddick to join the team a year sooner than planned and play with Bubba Wallace. People have noticed how good he is at driving and how much promise he has in the long run. Denny Hamlin was pleased by how well Tyler Reddick has done with Toyota racing development so far this season. Heavy said that Reddick's skill at driving caught Hamlin's attention. During a press conference at Sonoma Raceway, Hamlin said,
Yeah, I mean, he has. I mean, I think certainly, he certainly exposed me and my lack of skills and knew he would. I mean, you always want people that challenge you and challenge you to be better. And I think that when Tyler came over here this year, we knew that he was going to be the bar that we have to set ourselves against. And
since the 2022 season, Reddick has done better. Reddick joined the Cup Series in 2020, but it took him 2 seasons as a rookie to get used to the high-stakes setting. During that time, he didn't win any races, but in 2022, he really came into his own. He won a total of 3 races, with 2 wins on road tracks. In July of 2022, he won his first race for Richard Childress at Road America. He beat Chase Elliott of A&S to win the race in the number 8 car for the first time since Dale Earnhardt Jr. won at Richmond Raceway in 2006. 4 weeks later, he won his second race on the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. From the pole position, he led for 38 laps and passed Ross Chastain in the last part of the race. After having a good season in 2022, Reddick went to 23XI Racing. Even though he had a rough start with 2 DNFs, did not finish in his first 2 races. Even though he dropped in the rankings, he came back with top 5 wins at Phoenix Raceway and Atlanta Motor Speedway and won the 4th race of his career. Talking about this weekend, Denny Hamlin didn't like it when NASCAR stopped the race at Sonoma because of a loose tire on the pit road and bunched up the field. This week on the Action's Detrimental with Denny Hamlin podcast, the driver for Joe Gibbs Racing first talked about his own driving, which he was happy with even though he finished last on the road course.
I was very, very happy with our performance this weekend. Obviously, we were, our lap times were good in practice. We weren't like top of the charts or anything, but we could tell that we had speed when I could hit it right. And then qualifying, we had 3 laps all in the 77 bracket, which is, only one that did that. And then we led 30-some laps and won a stage. So we didn't leave there with nothing. We did get 1 bonus point, which is like having 1 more spot up in the standings at the end of the regular season. But this is what kind of, I didn't expect it to go down like this, but this is kind of the process it takes, right? Is that, nailing 1 lap and nailing 110 is 2 totally different things. And it's just usually I kind of run off track or I have a bad restart or something that kind of, makes me lose track position most of the time on road courses. But I felt like I really put together a solid day all around. Now, again, we lost track position when that caution came out.
Hamlin's day didn't end well at Sonoma, but he was in the lead when a warning came out for a loose tire on pit road. He was more than 10 seconds ahead of everyone else except Martin Truex Jr., so it's easy to see why Hamlin was a little annoyed by the controversial call. It's not just sour grapes for Hamlin. He wasn't happy, but he had a good explanation for why the warning was a bad idea.
Because, for one, that pit road is different than other pit roads. There's no direct entryway for a car to end up on pit lane from the racetrack. So if you see a bunch of racetracks where you can spin off of turn 4 and then end up on pit lane, here it's completely blocked off. So no cars will be coming on pit lane. It's right in the middle of pit lane. It's right in the middle of a pit sequence which jumbles up the whole field. I mean, it certainly didn't do us any favors. But you got to think that NASCAR has officials at the entrance of pit lane. They could perhaps say, nobody's coming. Somebody run out there and take 5 seconds to go get that tire.
This is my CODA idea.
But even on, say IMSA or whatever, you have local yellows, right? Just create, hey, heads up, guys, there's a tire on pit lane. If cars are coming in, I get it, but pit
Well, we
road
were
was
in a
pretty
pit cycle.
yes and no. Like when you come to strategy at Sonoma, you don't see a bunch of cars coming at one time. It's a few cars every now and then.
That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see more of our videos on NASCAR updates. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.